one by.
Just a moment.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sani. So we learn from the experience, and especially we learn from the books. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our book series. In this series, we are talking about the key learnings from the book through deliberation and discussions. So, today we have a great speaker, a inspirational speaker, a motivational speaker, and corporate coach, Mr. Suresh Sani, who is going to discuss about the summary of a book from the Persuasion book. So don't go for the further deliberation. Let us start our discussion with Mr. Sani. So he will discuss about what are the different method was given in that book.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sunny Raj. When I read this beautiful book, Persuasion, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, I completely fell in love with this book and I understood a very phenomenal secret that why people say or add in their disease or in their shops offers like last few pieces left, just two seats left, or maybe the restaurant people adding this is the most popular dish of today. That's called the persuasion because just changing the phrase can actually increase the sale for that particular product, that particular food dish. So that's all about persuasion, and the author clearly mentioned that there are six principles, and the first principle is reciprocity. And that's mean when you do a favor to someone, people feel obliged and they really want to give back to you something. So you must have observed that in the malls and some many other settings, like in the aeroplane, also in bus stand, sometimes also there are people who try to give, who usually give free samples, and that kind of persuade many people to buy the bigger size of product. That's what is the example of reciprocity, that you really want to oblige, and the that is one of the way to make people buy your product. So that's one principle, and I would invite you to add more to this.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sani. So you very well done. You explain the meaning as well as the example. So I remember whenever we go to the sweet shop, so generally he offer us a sweet, and when we taste the sweet, so we feel obliged that we should buy. That happens since it's in nature that if somebody is doing nice to us, in return we want also be the nice. You can take one example of any birthday. If somebody has given you a birthday gift, now you will also feel that next time I will also give him a birthday special gift. So only this happens in corporate life. People do these tricks to attract the customer. So it gives a learning to the life also that whatever you give, that will come back to you. Whatever if you do negative, this rule will also apply here. Here also, it will come back to you. The more you give good, the more positive response will come to your life. So if you feel that people are biased with you, people are not behaving as per it should be, then once recheck again whether you are doing good. If you are doing good, there is a very less possibility that you will get a bad from the people. So it is a law of nature also. So well done, explained by Mr. Sani. So we'll listen a second skill
Before
from him.
going on to the second point, when you mentioned this sweet shops example, one of the incident came to my mind, and if you allow, I would like to
Yes, yes, yes,
narrate
sure,
it.
sure.
So I was standing on a sweet show, and there was this gentleman just in front of me asking the shopkeeper, the sweet shopkeeper, that can you please taste me this gulab jamun? And the shopkeeper gave him his one gulab jamun. The gentleman ate it, and he kind of didn't like that particular gulab jamun, and he said, can you please give me 100 gram of gulab jamun, please? And that incident kind of felt like me that this shopkeeper already had given that person a 50-gram gulab jamun just for the sake of tasting, and he is taking just another 100 gram of it. So sometimes people in this, because of this rule, who feel very very obliged, do some kind of foolish thing, maybe taking 100 grams of gulab jamun just to compensate or just to reciprocate doesn't make any sense at, and in some of the cases that can offend the shopkeeper, that you are kind of wasting my time, you already had 50 gram of it. I think this doesn't make sense. So yeah, this, I think this was one of the perfect example I loved, and I really came to my mind when I heard these shopkeepers examples from you. Yeah. The second principle, now let's move to the second principle. And the second principle is the commitment and consistency. So when it say, they say commitment and consistency, that's mean that always, instead of giving orders or suggestions to the people, give people the ownership. Like, for to give you example, like when a leader is in the setting where the other subordinates are there, and he really want to establish something, so he must kind of say the things like that, do you feel that safety is important, instead of saying ki we need to stay safe while performing our duty. When a leader will say that, do you really feel that safety is important, which is the setting that those employees are going to adopt, they are going to wear the all the safety instrument. I feel like it is the second one, because they, the leader is asking for their commitment, and that is what is driving them, and that there is more chances that people can, abide by wearing the safety devices. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, thank you. So I also believe that last time I was visited Amazon site. So there is a feature called wait list, wish list. So which you item which you want to buy in future. So you can put in your wish list. Or so what happened next time I visited again yesterday. I have a kind of compelling that last time I have selected this item, let us buy something from that. So here also the concept of commitment come into. Once you commit something, there is a internal force come to you, and you want to do the same thing, and that is why you can see the people who give a like I remember there was a social media campaigning where there was a social cause, and like we should take care of old age home, and you we have given the commitment, yes it should be, we have to take care. So once you have given the agreement, the second point time after some days they ask some donation. That time, since you have given your commitment that it should be, then there was a most possible more possibility you would donate. It may be less or big amount, that is up to you, but once you fit come into the commitment zone, there is a more possibility that the more persuasion you will do that work. And you can take the example, people make a resolution that they will go to the gym, And once they declare that they will go to the gym, if somebody asks, oh, have you visited gym, then he will say yes. Or next time also you ask, you visited gym, then uh, definitely will try to say yes, until there is no another reason. So generally, once you take a commitment, you follow that commitment. And that is why in the psychology of persuasion, people in corporate or in personal life take their commitment first. And after that, they communicate and get their desired results. Back to you for further discussion.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And the next principle, if we move to, that is social proof. Social proof means that when we are unsure, we look up to some other people, maybe the mass group of people. Like if I have to give it an example, like if you have seen the ads on TV, let's say toothpaste ads, they usually market their toothpaste by saying that almost 90% household uses Colgate. Maybe just take the example of Colgate. And why they are saying so? They are just using this principle of social proof, that they are saying if you are not sure, there are these people you can look up to. The 90% of the population have trusted this brand, and you can also trust this. There is one more example I remember, the hotel business. So the hotels, one of the hotel I remember that tried to entice the guests to reuse the towel. They first mentioned that's to save nature and to save water, let's reuse the towels. And there was not much improvement in the reusage of the towels. Then they wrote in the bathroom that 70% of guests reuse their towels, and that increased the usage by another 20% of the guests. This was another example of social proofing. So people follow when there are a mass gathering that is following the thing. So yes, your thoughts on
Thank
this?
you. Thank you. This is really useful. I have seen in many places. I remember in last month we found two restaurants. There was one restaurant. There was very less crowd, and there was nearby another restaurant where crowd was very high. So we have decided to go to the second restaurant. Reason is that we were unsure whether that is good or bad. So we followed what the other people are following. So that social proofing is very powerful, especially a person is unsure. That is why you can see in the Amazon, Flipkart, or online site there is a concept of review. On review, we find that this has 7,000, people has given a 5 rating. So you also assume that this must be good. Or somebody has given a very negative remark or rating, you are not going to buy it. Region you are unsure, and the social proofing also says the same thing. That is why you can see in the advertisement of Colgate, the people wear the doctor coat and say Colgate is good for our teeth. So why marketing teams use this social proofing to convince a new audience to the new people, customer, so that they can persuade towards their goal. So this is
Absolutely.
a very powerful technique. And now we'll go for the next concept of
Yes.
persuasion.
Next law is the law of liking. When the author mentioned liking, that means that people buy from the person or the salespeople or the other professional when they like that particular professional. And I remember this one example. In fact, I was taking an interview, and there this gentleman shared this incident that in one of the territory they have revived, and suddenly the competitor came into the picture. They significantly dropped the prices, and their customers shift loyalties At this moment of time, that particular leader guided his team to be patient, to be present in the field, to go to the HCPs, to the customers, and understand what challenges they are facing, just to listen, not to push the brands, but to understand their problem and to solve their problem, just to be present in the market. And slowly and steadily, what happens? The sales again started rising up. The reason would not that their product was cheaper, or the reason was simple, that this team has earned trust from the HCPs, from the customers, and that's why the sales starts picking up. That's why they say that a customer is going to buy when you will win the trust of that particular customer. So this rule is also like that: if a customer likes you, he is going to buy from you. That's why they say that in sales directly, don't pitch your brand, first build rapport with your customer, then you can pitch your product, and there is no one who can stop you from selling to that particular customer. Your comment, please.
So, for just for before any comment, I want to know from you. So, the concept of liking and the authority is the same.
No, they are different.
So, the concept which you are discussing is more related to what
This is
in the
related to
persuasion.
liking. This is related to liking.
In the persuasion book, liking is another rule. Like the authority is the rule, similarly liking is also one of the rule. Am I correct? For
Absolutely,
benefit of
absolutely,
doubts, I
absolutely.
want to understand from you. So I also, I agree with you. I remember my friend, uh, he is very good human being. So I have a close relationship with him. So even though he says something, I believe him. Reason is liking. So I have some kind of the trust with him, and making due to the trust, so I found that I am pursuing whatever he's saying. So liking make him me the more persuasive. Suppose, can you trust somebody who feel look like a cheater, even though he is offering a very good deal? Answer will be no.
Absolutely.
So liking, until you feel a confidence, faith to the others, he cannot influence you. For influencing someone to persuade somebody, you must connect with them through liking. One of the example through liking. And I also like the way you express the example. So shall we go for the next?
Absolutely. So next, as you mentioned, authority. So when they say authority, the authority means that someone holds the power, right? So if I talk about the professionals like doctors, there was the comparison done between two doctors. One doctor was wearing the white coat, that's the symbol of authority, and other was wearing the normal dress. They observed that the doctors who wear the white coat, people followed and adhered to the medication and the advices that particular doctor suggested, compared to the who were not in the dress, proper white coat. And from this example, the author wants to tell that people really obliged or kind of respect the authority. And this kind of happen with the, when there are traffic police also in the road, on the road they are trying to manage the traffic. When a person without dress will be trying to manage it, people will try to ignore him and kind of leave without stopping sometimes. But when a traffic police in the dress will be managing the traffic, everyone will, almost everyone, there are some miscreants, yes, so they will adhere to that. So that's what authority is all about. Your thoughts on this?
Yes, I agree with you. Authority. Like I remember, when my teacher says this exam, this question is particularly very important, then being a student, we say yes, we have to go through in detail. Reason is authority. When a CA or advocate on the legal matter say that you have to follow this rule, so since he possesses a prescribed qualification to comment on a particular legal topic, so we follow them. So what it does mean? It means we follow the authority. Like you said, the a person in the uniform will have more authority and more trust than a person is in a normal civil uniform, in a civil dress. So, so authority is the way to influence more. That is why doctor prescription is considered more having more weightage than if a person say you take this medicine. So everything is all about authority. So in the field of persuasion, you have to find out the way how you can have the authority on the topic. If you can find the way to make the authority, then definitely people will follow you. Back to you.
Absolutely, absolutely loved that. And let's move to the next. The next is the law of scarcity. Law of scarcity, I have seen that the law realizing and showing that these are the last pieces left. That's why sales increases. So I share this example in the start, that there are some restaurant which says that this is the most hot dish for the today. That kind of the or restaurant again try to establish or try to use the law of scarcity. You must have realized there are many programs who runs, and there are many entrepreneurs and this, I would not say public speakers, but there are many people who do these webinars, and they invite people to register for their programs, and they say there are limited spots available. That only showing the principle of scarcity, because try to people has more fear of loss than they kind of gain. So what they are trying to, that we have this psychology of fear, that we must not lose something. So that's the principle of scarcity. You please make it further clear to the audience.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. If if something is rare or time bounded, definitely you want to have that. The example which you already quoted, I remember on the website, some it is written like only 5 seats remaining, especially in the ticket, only 5 seats remaining, limited edition for shoes or this item, limited edition watch, limited edition. So they want to make it rare, and that and sometime the last date for completing the formality is 31st March 20 next 2 days. So whenever we feel that this is time bounded, then you will feel that no, I don't want to lose something, let us register, let us buy. And this way people use the skill of persuasion. And I will agree with you that this is also one of the way to create a marketing of your product. If you show that your product is having a spare quantity, spare time, people will not give that much weightage to you. So scarcity is one of the powerful weapon in marketing people use, and use the persuasion skill for their objective. Back to you.
Thank you. So we have discussed six rules, as per they are the most important rule in this book. The first rule was reciprocity. Then we discussed liking. Then another was scarcity. The another was authority, and liking we have already discussed. Consistency, and what was
Commitment.
other, and
Consistent commitment, I think 6 over.
commitment and consistency. So
Yep.
these were the rules which we have discussed. We missed the social proof, right? Social proof. yeah, social proof is one of the other rule in which the six we just discussed. So I have this question: in the leadership setting, which is the most important rule that in leadership setting can be can in the leadership setting is most important?
If I say, I think
Hmm.
all six having their own weightage.
Hmm.
Now it's up to the circumstances. And being a leader, you have to apply based on the case to case basis. Yeah, you can say based on the circumstances. Like first is reciprocity. It means if you do good for your colleagues, demonstrate that
Hmm.
you show the commitment. They will
Hmm.
also replicate in their own behavior. So
Hmm.
now, if you say your colleague that only 2 days is the deadline to complete your work, so they will feel the this is time bounded matter. They will give more weightage to that. So every rule have their own plus and minus. Now it's up to you that where will you apply. So being a leader, I think you should use all six, and it is based on your circumstances.
Hmm, absolutely. I think, yeah, I completely agree with. If I have to choose one rule, so I will be choosing commitment and consistency. Why commitment and consistency? Being a leader has to communicate a lot, and when he or she is communicating, influence is one of the parameter that he or she needs to influence their employee, their subordinates, their peers, and everyone, right, in the collaboration. So, like, they must use this parameter, and this parameter or this rule says that give the people the commitment, take commitment from the people. So when a leader, you must not kind of force your decision to the people. You must take them to your grab so that you take their commitment, and then when you are taking their commitment, definitely they are going to stick to it. Like whenever you want to create a new system in the leadership or in an organization, so you must not say that from tomorrow we are going to use or we are going to adhere to this particular process. We must ask them, are we agreed to use this particular process from tomorrow? And maybe in that case, if people say yes, that's where the ownership comes. So that's what my take is on this
Yes,
particular
we
in
agree
the
with you.
leadership scenario.
We can put weightage in some sequence like what you tell. The first should be the your commitment or your consistency. Being a leader, you have to show some commitment. So being a leader, you have the authority, then that can be the given the second bit is like you command on your skills, whether it's your communication skill or technical expert in the subject matter, then people will follow you since they see you as a leader and you have that technical skill. And liking is also given the third rank. Like people, everybody want liking from you. Like if you dislike some your subordinates or your team member, will he perform best? Answer will be no. So I think rules are important. Weightage can be given based on, like you tell, the first rank can be given this, second to the third. But I think we should apply all this rule in our
Very, very
day-to-day life.
important. I completely align with you.
So with this, I thanks to Mr. Sani for enlightening us in this session and making this deliberation more meaningful. Thanks to the audience who watched our video. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saniraj. Thank you so much for this wonderful session and making and understanding each one of us in detailed version and with, of course, with the examples. I really loved the way you narrated all the principles. So we'll definitely meet tomorrow. Thank you